Yu-Gi-Oh, we see massive dragons, godlike warriors, world-ending machines, but throughout every era, there is a cute little fluffy ball that stands by the side of the protagonists as they take on these giant threats. The Kuriboh archetype. More than just a card, these guys have been the spirit partners for every main character in the franchise. Yugi used the original Kuriboh, Jaden, the winged Kuriboh, Yusei, Junk Kuriboh, Yuma, Kuriboh and Rainbow Kuriboh, Yugioh, Performer Pal Kuriboh, Bara Kuriboh, Classic Kuriboh, and finally Yusaku used Link Kuriboh and Spear Kuriboh. Essentially what I'm trying to say is there are a lot of Kuribohs nowadays. But that begs the question, what is a Kuriboh? Kuribohs follow a specific DNA. They're usually a level 1 monster with tiny stats, but their true power is their ability to keep the wielder alive for one more turn. To go through these, I thought we'd go through each of the series and talk about each of the Kuribohs the characters use. Starting first, of course, with Yugi's classic Kuriboh was the original hand trap. It had the ability to quick effect, discard it to reduce an instance of battle damage to 0. This made it the perfect, oh no, Yugi's about to lose? Just kidding, Kuriboh with the save. It made its real-world debut in one of the first ever Yu-Gi-Oh packs, 2002's Metal Raiders. As of this video, Kuriboh currently has 3 different artworks. Choose your pick, which is your favorite one. In the anime, we see Kuriboh's first appearance in episode 5. Simply summoned into defense to tank an attack from Weevil, its big moment came a bit later, during Yugi's duel against Kaiba. Yugi combined Kuriboh with his spell card, Multiply. This card has the real world effect to tribute one face-up Kuriboh, special summon as many Kuriboh tokens as possible in defense. However, they cannot be tributed for a tribute summon. Of course, like many things in the anime, it was a bit more busted. You see, in the anime, it caused Kuriboh to multiply infinitely. No matter how many times you destroyed them, they'd always resummon themselves back to the field, essentially creating an unbreakable wall of defense. With this play, Yugi was able to just sit back and wait while Kaiba's Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon melted away, since he was unable to get through to him. Another crucial moment for Kuriboh came in Yugi and My Valentine's duel. It was used as a ritual material for the ultimate ritual monster, Blackluster Soldier. A reference that you might actually see in the artwork of the modern day card, Super Soldier Ritual. Your next question might be, why is Griffor in this card? Well, it goes to the manga. In the manga, the dark attributed Kuriboh and the earth attributed Griffor were the cards used to transform Gaia the Fierce Knight into Blackluster Soldier, whereas in the anime, it was instead just Kuriboh and Gaia the Fierce Knight. In fact, this moment was made into its own Kuriboh card, Griffor, based on Griffor. Quick effect, you can discard this card and activate one of these effects. The next battle or effect damage you would take this turn becomes 0. Set one quick play spell or trap that mentions Ritual of Light and Darkness from your deck. It can be activated this turn. For the ritual summon of exactly one level 8 monster with a card or effect that requires use of a monster, this card can be used as the entire tribute. This way, Kuriboh and Griffor are the same thing, so you only need this one card to perform the Blackluster Ritual to summon Blackluster Soldier. It's pretty cool with the new archetype anyway. We would see Kuriboh's multiplying ability once again in Yugi's duel against Maximilian Pegasus. He chose to multiply his Kuriboh in this duel to force Thousand Eyes Restrict to absorb an infinite amount of Kuribohs, which on contact with a monster in the anime, detonated and destroyed the monster. This ability would take the form of the real world card Detonate, which allows you to destroy as many Kuriboh and Kuriboh tokens you control as possible, then destroy cards the opponent controls up to the number of cards destroyed by this effect. Nowadays, that's way too slow, way too many cards. Why don't we just combine Kuriboh, Multiply, and Detonate into 2 new cards? And so we have Detonating Kuriboh. If a Kuriboh monster card is on the field, you can special summon this card from your hand. When your opponent activates a monster effect on the field, quick effect, you can equip this card you control to that opponent's monster as an equipped spell with this effect. The equipped monster's effects are negated. Following this, we have Multiplying Kuriboh. When your opponent activates a monster effect or an opponent's monster declares an attack, quick effect, you can special summon this card from your hand. Once per turn, when your opponent activates a monster effect on the field, or during damage calculation, when opponent's monster attacks, quick effect, you can add to your hand or special summon one Dark Magician or one monster with 300 attack 200 defense from your deck or graveyard. Then you can change that opponent's monster's attack to 0. Now, the original Kuriboh pops up a lot in Battle City. It does a lot of work, but I would say its biggest moment is in Yugi's duel against Kaiba, where it tanked a 4,000 direct attack from Obelisk's ability against Seto, keeping Yugi alive long enough to win the duel. We would also see Kuriboh become a deck master in the Virtual World arc. Its deck master ability was it could negate a single instance of damage and then immediately summon itself to the field. Yugi comboed this play with an anime exclusive card known as Rainbow Blessing, which by attributing a Kuriboh allows all monsters to attack the opponent directly this turn, which is what allowed Yugi to win that duel. But that begs the question. I thought if a deck master left the field, you lost the duel. Only if the monster that left the field becomes a new monster, normally you get to stay on and play. But this just like killed Kuriboh. I guess it became the bridge, so as long as that bridge was intact, it was fine. I guess, if I'm explaining away the anime, I guess. During the Waking the Dragons arc, we see a huge boost in new Kuriboh cards. First, Yugi used a card called 5-Star Twilight. Its effect is if the only monster you control is a level 5 monster, tribute that monster, and special summon 5 monsters. Kuriboh, Kuribi, Kuriboh, Kuribeh, and Kuriboh. You summon them from your hand, deck, and or grave, but they cannot be tributed for a tribute summon. These 5 are known as the Kuriboh brothers. All the colors of the rainbow they are, and each one possesses a unique ability. Kuriboh's effect is, when an opponent's monster declares an attack, you can discard this card. Add 1 Kuriboh monster from your deck to your hand. Once per turn, quick effect, you can discard 1 trap, then target 1 face-up monster your opponent controls. It loses 1500 attack until the end of the turn. Kuribi. When this card or another Kuriboh monster you control is destroyed by a battle, you can add 1 spell or trap from your deck to your hand that lists the card Kuriboh in its text. You can only use this effect of Kuribi once per turn. Once per turn, when an opponent's monster declares an attack while you control another Kuriboh monster, you can change the attack of all other monsters you control to 0 until the end of the turn. And if you do, negate the attack. Kuribeh. Quick effect, you can discard this card, target 1 Kuriboh monster you control, it gains 1500 attack. You can tribute this card you control and 1 each of Kuribah, Bee, Boo, and Bo from your hand and or field. Add 1 Kuribandit from your deck or graveyard to your hand. Then, immediately after this effect resolves, you can normal summon 1 Fiend monster from your hand. Who is Kuribandit? Well, it's one of the new Kuriboh cards. Its effect is during the end phase. If this card was normal summoned this turn, you can tribute this card, excavate the top 5 cards of your deck. You can add 1 excavated spell or trap to your hand. Also, send the remaining cards to the grave. And don't worry, there's one more Kuriboh brother I forgot to mention, and that is Kuribah. Its effect is when this card or another Kuriboh monster you control is destroyed by a battle, you can special summon 1 monster with 300 attack and 200 defense from your deck. You can tribute this card you control and 1 each of Kuribi, Boo, Bear, and Bo from your hand and or field. Special summon Kuribabylon from your hand, deck, or grave. What's Kuribabylon? Well, it's the fused form of all the Kuriboh brothers. Its effect is it gains 300 attack and defense for each Kuriboh monster you control and in your grave. If you have more monsters in your grave than your opponent, you can special summon this card from your hand. During your main or battle phase, you can return this card to the hand, and if you do, special summon Kuribah, Bee, Boo, Bear, and Bo from your hand and or grave in attack. This concludes all of the Kuriboh cards that Yugi used in the main series. However, we have one more. In the Dark Side of Dimensions movie, Yugi used a new Kuriboh, Clear Kuriboh. Its effect was when your opponent activates a monster effect that would inflict damage. Quick effect, you can discard this card and negate the activation. When an opponent's monster declares a direct attack, you can banish this card from your grave, draw 1 card, and if it is a monster, you can special summon it. Then change the attack target to it. Moving on next to Yu-Gi-Oh! GX with the passing of the torch, if you will, since Yugi gave his winged Kuriboh to Jaden Yuki in the first episode, which then became Jaden's spirit partner. Winged Kuriboh had the effect, if this card on the field is destroyed and sent to the grave, for the rest of this turn you take no battle damage. Jaden would use a Kuriboh support card in the anime called the Flute of Summoning Kuriboh. This was a quick play spell that allowed you to either add a Kuriboh or win Kuriboh from your deck to your hand, or special summon it straight to the field. And while we're kind of used to Kuribohs being defensive, Jaden found a way to make them very offensive, with the card Transcendent Wings. By sending a face up or face down wing Kuriboh you control and 2 cards from your hand to the grave, you can special summon Wing Kuriboh level 10 from your hand or deck. Wing Kuriboh level 10 had the ability, during the opponent's battle phase, quick effect, you can tribute this card, destroy as many attack position monsters your opponent controls as possible, and if you do, inflict damage to your opponent equal to the combined original attack of those destroyed monsters. Using this card, Jaden was able to beat Chaz Princeton's VWXYZ Dragon Catapult Cannon and the duel. Interestingly, in the manga, Jaden didn't have Winged Kuriboh level 10, he had Wing Kuriboh level 9. Activate only as chain link 3 or higher. Quick effect, you can special summon this card from your hand. Spell cards that have been activated are banished instead of being sent to the grave. The attack and defense of this card are each equal to the number of spells in your opponent's graveyard times 500. And fun fact, there is now a Winged Kuriboh level 6. This card is always treated as an elemental hero and favorite card. Must be special summoned from your hand or grave by banishing one elemental hero fusion monster or one Wing Kuriboh from your hand, face up field or graveyard. When an opponent's monster declares an attack, or your opponent activates a monster effect on the field, quick effect, you can tribute this card, destroy that one monster, and if you do, inflict damage to your opponent equal to its original attack. The final Kuriboh card that Jaden used was quite a spicy one. Given to him for his battle against Kagamaru, it was Sabatiel the Philosopher's Stone. Its effect is if you have a Wing Kuriboh monster in your grave, pay half your life points, add a polymerization spell or fusion spell from your deck to your hand. If this card is in your grave, you can banish 3 copies of Sabatiel the Philosopher's Stone from your grave, then target one monster on the field. It gains attack equal to the attack of the monster on the field with the highest attack until the end of the turn. And just like Yugi's card, there's too many cards, let's push them all into one. Well, it happened again. Wing Kuriboh level 10 and Sabatiel got merged together for Wing Kuriboh Sabatiel level 10. You can reveal this card in your hand, pay half your life points, add polymerization spell or fusion spell from your deck to your hand, and if you do, shuffle this card into the deck. Also, you cannot special summon from the extra deck for the rest of this turn, except hero monsters. During your opponent's turn, if you have 1000 life points or less, quick effect, you can special summon this card from your hand, then you can inflict damage to your opponent equal to the highest attack among the monsters they control. And while Jaden didn't use this card, it does support the Wing Kuriboh cards, it's the last card that does, and that is Berserker Crush. Banish one monster from your grave, then target one Wing Kuriboh you control. That target's attack and defense becomes equal to the attack and defense of the monster that was banished until the end of this turn. Next, moving on to Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds, Yusei Fudo used Junk Kuriboh. During either player's turn, when your opponent activates a card or effect that would inflict damage to you, you can send this card from your hand or field to the grave, negate the activation. If you do, destroy that card. So this was Yusei's Kuriboh, however, he wasn't the only character to have a Kuriboh in Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds. Luna wielded Kuribon. During damage calculation, if this card is attacked by your opponent's monster, you can activate this effect. You take no battle damage from that battle, your opponent gains life points equal to the attacking monster's attack. Also, you return this card to your hand. Not the best card in the world, so it got an upgrade. Kuribon the Fairy Spirit. If you control Ancient Fairy Dragon or a light monster, beast, plant or fairy, you can special summon this card from your hand, and if you do, it is treated as a tuner. If another card you control that is Ancient Fairy Dragon or a monster that mentions it will be destroyed by a card effect, you can turn this card you control to your hand instead. In Zexal, Yumi used Kuriboh. Its effect was you can target one Xyz monster that has a material, detach one material from it, and if you do, special summon one Kuriboh from your deck. It cannot be used as a synchro material. Yuma also used Rainbow Kuriboh, which was his father's card. Its effect was when an opponent's monster declares an attack, you can target that attacking monster, equip this card from your hand to that monster, it cannot attack. When an opponent's monster declares a direct attack while this card is in your grave, you can special summon this card, but banish it when it leaves the field. Interestingly, like Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds, Yuma wasn't the only one to have a Kuriboh card. His rival also had one. Kaitenjo had Kuriphoton. Its effect was quick effect, you can send this card from your hand to the grave, pay 2000 life points, you take no damage this turn. If this card is in your grave, you can send one Photon monster from your hand to the grave, except Kuriphoton, add this card from your grave to your hand. And while it didn't appear in the manga or the anime, Astral nowadays has his own Kuriboh card too. Astral Kuriboh. You can reveal one number Xyz monster in your extra deck, special summon this card from your hand. And if you do, this card's level becomes the revealed monster's rank. Also, while it is face up in the monster zone, you cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck except Number Exceeds monsters. A Number Exceeds monster that was summoned using this card on the field as material gains this effect. It cannot be destroyed by battle or by your opponent's card effects. In Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc 5, Manga Yuya used the card Performer Pal Kuriboh. When an opponent's monster declares a direct attack, you can special summon this card from your hand. And if you do, change the attack target to this card. Then proceed to damage calculation. If you would take battle damage from that battle, you gain that much life points instead. He also used Performer Pal Burrow Kuriboh. Its pendulum effect was once per turn at the start of the battle phase. You can add one monster with 300 attack, 200 defense from your deck to your hand, then destroy this card. Its monster effect is when your monster is destroyed by a battle, you can special summon this card from your hand. Your opponent's monsters cannot target monsters for attacks except this one. If this card is attacked, change it to attack position at the end of the damage step. He also used Performer Pal Classic Kuriboh. Its pendulum effect was when an opponent's monster declares a direct attack, this card is destroyed. Monster effect, if this card is destroyed by its own pendulum effect, end the battle phase. You can discard this card, then target one card in your pendulum zone. Its pendulum scale becomes 1 until the end of the turn. When you take battle damage while this card is in your grave, you can place this card in your pendulum zone. For Yu-Gi-Oh! VRAINS, Yusaku used 2 Kuriboh monsters. The first was Sphere Kuriboh. When an opponent's monster declares an attack, you can send this card from your hand to the grave, change the attacking monster to defense. When you ritual summon, you can banish this card from your grave as one of the monsters required for the ritual summon. He also used Link Kuriboh. When an opponent's monster declares an attack, you can tribute this card, change that opponent's monster's attack to 0 until the end of the turn. If this card is in your grave, quick effect, you can tribute one level 1 monster, special summon this card. Now later in Yu-Gi-Oh! VRAINS, Yusaku's AI companion turns a little bit evil and he creates his own deck, kind of based on Yusaku's. As such, he makes his own Kuriboh. Linguriboh. When your opponent activates a trap card, quick effect, you can tribute this card, negate that card's effect, and if you do, banish it. If this card is in your grave, quick effect, you can tribute one Agnista monster that was summoned from your extra deck, special summon this card. And this is becoming a trend, but we've got some upgraded forms for these cards as well. Kurikorinku Agnista. If this card is in your hand or grave, quick effect, you can tribute one Agnista monster, special summon this card, but banish it when it leaves the field. When a card or effect is activated that targets a Cyburst monster you control, and you control a Cyburst monster that was special summoned from the extra deck, quick effect, you can tribute this card, negate that effect. Don Yuribo Atagnista. During damage calculation, if your Atagnista monster is attacked, quick effect, you can discard this card, you take no battle damage from that battle. When an Atagnista monster, effect, or AI, spell/trap card or effect is activated that inflicts damage to your opponent, even during the damage step, quick effect, you can banish this card from your graveyard, double the damage inflicted to your opponent. And with all that, those are the main character Kuribohs and those that appeared in the anime or manga. Are we done? Not by a long shot. There are even more Kuribohs to go through, so let's start first with the cosplay Kuribohs. Kuribohs that are just Kuriboh, but they got a little costume on. Magic Kuriboh, based on Dark Magician. During the main or battle phase, if you took damage by battle or an opponent's card effect this turn, quick effect, you can send this card from your hand to the grave, special summon one Dark Magician or one Dark Magician girl from your deck or graveyard. If a face-up spellcaster monster you control is destroyed by a battle or by an opponent's card effect, you can add this card from your grave to your hand. Relink Kuriboh, based on Relinquished. If this card is tributed, draw one card. If your monster would be destroyed by a battle, you can banish this card from your grave instead. Galactic Kuriboh, based on Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon. When an opponent's monster declares an attack, you discard this card, special summon one Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon from your hand or deck, then change the attack target to it. Then you can attach this card from your grave to one Xyz monster on the field as a material. If a Photon or Galaxy monster you control would be destroyed by a battle or opponent's card effect, you can banish this card from your grave instead. Following these cosplay Kuribohs, let's just go through all the rest that are left. Ankh Kuriboh. When an opponent's monster declares an attack, you can discard this card, then target one monster in either grave, except this card, special summon it to your field, but send it to the grave during the end phase. If this card is destroyed by a battle or card effect and sent to the grave, you can add one Monster Reborn from your deck or graveyard to your hand during the end phase of this turn. Palladium Oracle Mana has absolutely nothing to do with Kuriboh, except you can see it in the artwork, kind of cute. Dark Kuriboh. When a fiend monster and or fusion monster you control is targeted for an attack or a card effect is activated that targets them, Quick effect, you can discard this card, target one of those monsters. Until the end of this turn, it cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects. Also, its effects activated in the monster zone cannot be negated. If this card is sent from the hand to the grave by a card effect, you can add polymerization from your deck or graveyard to your hand. Kuriboh. At the end of the battle phase, you can discard this card, then target one monster in your grave that was destroyed by battle and sent there this turn. Special summon it. When an opponent's monster declares an attack, you can banish this card from your grave, then target any number of Kuriboh monsters in your grave, special summon them. Officially, that is all of the Kuribohs. However, there's a couple support Kuribohs and references to Kuribohs, which are Ma'at, which was made in the manga by fusing Wing Kuriboh and Light and Darkness Dragon together. Must be special summoned from your hand by sending one Light Dragon type monster and one Light Fairy type monster you control to the grave and cannot be special summoned by other ways. Once per turn, you can declare free card names, excavate the top 3 cards of your deck, add any of them that you name to your hand. Also, send the remaining cards to the grave. This card's attack and defense each becomes equal to the number of cards added to your hand by this effect times 1000. Skilled Brown Magician. Each time a spell card is activated, place a spell counter on this card when that spell resolves. You can remove a spell counter from this card to activate one of these effects. This card gains 1500 attack and its level is increased by 1. Add 1 Kuriboh monster or 1 multiply from your deck or graveyard to your hand. Generation Next. If your life points are lower than your opponent's, add to your hand or special summon 1 Elemental Hero monster, Kuriboh monster or Neospatial monster from your deck or grave with attack less than or equal to the difference in life points. Also, for the rest of this turn, you cannot activate cards or the effects of cards with the same name as that card. Finally, we have a normal monster variant of Kuriboh called Wretched Ghost of the Attic. Its flavor text reads, a harmless monster found lurking in just about any attic. And this monster will get a big glow up being a part of the Memento archetype eventually, becoming Memento Gatic. And with that, that is every single Kuriboh that currently exists in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Trading card game. Will there be more in the future? Yes. Yes, there will be. Let me know what your favorite Kuriboh is out of all the Kuribohs we've talked about today. Let me know. Other than that though, thank you very much for watching. Catch you later. Bye everyone.